One of the reasons I engaged in my research was to try to answer the question, how do Christian leaders be sustained and flourish long term for their calling? And the other question I was really wrestling with is, what does it look like to really flourish? What does flourishing mean? What does it entail? And what can I promise young leaders as they enter the Christian mission and say yes to the calling that God's put on their lives? That's one of the reasons I did this research. I was one time talking to a young man and woman who have a really faithful ministry in the country of China. They began teaching English and they then transitioned into pastoring and caring for pastors all around the southern part of the country. And one of the things that came about is that they wrestled with, they had a faithful marriage, they were faithful to the scriptures, they weren't in any patterns of addiction in their life, but there was a question of dissatisfaction in their life. And they really kind of were wondering, is this all there is? Is this what it means to flourish in Christ? And so I wanted to wrestle with these questions of flourishing in Christian mission and what we're promised by God and what we can invite people into. And is there a way to cultivate that life into our lives? Well, I want us to start that conversation in Mark chapter 3 in two short verses, verses 13 and 14. And in these verses, I think we have the description, a fully formed description of what it is for you and I to be formed in Christ as Christian mission leaders. It says that Jesus went up onto a mountain and he called to himself those whom he desired, and they came to him. And he appointed 12, and then he also named them apostles, so that they might be with him and he might send them out to preach. Again, in these two short verses, I think we have the whole of what it means for you and I to flourish in mind. And I'd like to unpack it in three short sections.